right, Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all glory, honor, and praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai. Double honors to the apostle elders, the great millstone, who grew well. And salutations to all you brothers out there pushing this word in love, truth, sincerity, and humility. Once again, it's the brother Shatia from the Chicago camp, coming back to you with what I hope is another quick and edifying sit down. And just recently, I had a chance to finally see the movie Civil War. And it was a good movie. It was a really good movie. They approached it from a perspective of through the eyes of a journalist, which I'm kind of glad it did, because, you know, we have other movies that kind of depict the brutality of civil unrest, like The Purge and Bushwick. But nonetheless, a interesting theme in the movie was, especially as it applies to the bills that have been getting passed in these last couple of days, and that is the concept of misleading or false information. You know, trying to keep up the narrative. In the movie, you had the President of the United States. Spoiler alert, if you haven't seen the movie, don't watch this video. Please go watch the movie, which I highly recommend, and then come back and check this video out. But nonetheless, you have the President of the United States getting himself together to speak on a narrative that's completely untrue. Okay, he was purposely going to get up on the podium and lie to all the American people, stating that the situation of civil unrest and the strength of America cannot be broken. All right, and that's something that you have going on today. You have a situation where the government and the president is trying to tell the American citizens that everything is fine, that we're going to bounce back, and America has been through hard times before, and it's going to be great again, when in all actuality it's not. Okay, the hard reality of the situation is that what's happening in America is not going to get better, just like it didn't get better for America in the movie. Okay, you got civil unrest, you got the whole world getting upset at a group of individuals because you can't speak out against them and their policies. You got a housing foreclosure, you got a car crisis, you got a retail apocalypse, you got hyperinflation through the roof. Everything is collapsing. The whole thing is collapsing. And just like in the movie, everything had collapsed. Everything did. Pretty much the whole entire United States looked like a war zone. just like how it's going to be a war zone here in America. Okay, because there's, just like it was nothing the president could do to change the narrative and change the outcome, there's nothing that America can do to change its outcome. And that's because Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai ordained it so. I'm in transit to the Evanston camp, but you know, through the Spirit, I'll try to get some scriptures in there through the Spirit. And one of those scriptures is that the Lord's word doesn't come back to a void. It accomplishes that which he speaketh. Okay? And the ultimate prophecy of America, also referred to in the Bible as Babylon the Great, this place was destined to be destroyed. As the scripture says, his sins have reached up to the heavens. Okay? This place tells you that with great, in the book of Revelation, which we're soon not going to be able to so-called preach out of anymore because it's in the New Testament, but nonetheless, that's a whole nother story. All right, the Bible teaches you that with great violence will Babylon the Great be thrown down. All right, and that's the ultimate prophecy of America, its downfall. And before that, we got to have this civil war. Because just like in the movie, you can tell that the situation was beyond the point of no return. He lost the narrative. They lost the information war. Just like in real life, the United States and its very super rich small group of allies, they have lost the information war. So now they have nothing left but to bring about the civil war, which is spoken of in 2nd Ezra, the 15th and the 16th chapter, where it talks about woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, meaning its doom, its downfall. It tells you that there shall be sedition amongst men and invading one another. It tells you how a man shall have no regard for his neighbor, but will be utterly spoiling. And you have that right now in a time where there's a small semblance of the law. Sorry about this. I'm trying to make my way through traffic. There's a car crash up here. But yeah, as I was saying, you have that right now, and there's actually some small semblance of the law. As the scripture says, if they do these things in the green tree, how much in the dry? And you can see the tension in the air. You can feel it everywhere. Everybody's on edge. Everybody's stressed out, depressed, angry. Because they feel like they're just going through the motions of life with no relief in sight. And for many people, that pretty much is the truth. Another thing that I saw in the movie was that when Civil War hits, there's going to be a whole lot of Edomite on Edomite violence. There's going to be a whole lot of Edomite on Edomite violence. And that's in the scripture too, where it talks about how the Lord is going to set the Egyptian versus the Egyptian. All right, you had the in the movie, you had the people who were down for the old country, the old way of America. Then you had people who were for the new age of America. And then you had the people who were trying to be neutral about the whole situation. Okay, you had the military versus the common folk. You had the independent military. I forgot what they called them, the WF, like the West Fighter or something like that. And then you just had folks that were just kind of out for themselves, you know, just trying to take advantage of a vulnerable situation. Okay, it's going to get real violent out here when all hell breaks loose, you know, and they pretty much foretold or foreshadowed, whichever word you want to use. They definitely made it very obvious that when the time comes, it's going to get real rough, you know. So, like I said, I could speak a lot more on it, but those were two big things that I picked up out of the movie. Once again, I highly recommend it. You know, it approached it from an angle that was very interesting. You know, you did have Civil War, but it wasn't how you thought it was. They, like, in the sense of bringing it from a purge standpoint. So, nonetheless, I hope you all were edified. Until the next time, we're going to say Shalom.